Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I am going to be sharing with you guys some of my favorite things from the month of January through February. So I actually filmed this video twice already. The first time I filmed it back in January, and I was so excited to film it that I forgot so many pieces that I wanted to say within the video, and then I had to refilm those portions just to like edit it in. And by the time I was like playing back the footage, I didn't like it anymore because I'm just like I have to like the concept and the thought process of having to like add all those pieces in, and it was just so bad. I don't even know how I forgot so many things. But yeah, that was the first time. Second time was actually yesterday, and I decided to wear like an overthrow, like a shirt, overthrow shirt, shacket, whatever. And because I'm so animated with my hands when I talk, I can't help it. Every time I moved, my microphone would pick up every single like sound of like the fabric kind of rubbing together as I moved, basically. So it was just getting all of that feedback, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna film this a third time, and hopefully this time I get it right. Hopefully. If I don't, I'm so sorry. At that point, I'm just gonna have to live with it, right? Like, yeah. I'm just really excited to share all the things that brought me joy throughout the past 2 months, because I'm going to combine actually January and February together, since I missed out on posting like in January. Of course, everything that I mention in today's video will be linked and listed down below. So in case you're interested in any of the things, I will have it in the description box for you guys. So let's just jump right in. So first things first, I'm going to talk about a couple makeup products. It's not a lot, so I'm going to try to run through these as fast as possible just because I have a lot of other things that I want to talk about, and I'm not trying to be here forever. So first things first, this is Morphe's Huephoric. What is it? Oh, this is Morphe's Huephoric Rush 3-in-1 Silk Blush, and I have been loving this actually throughout the year of 2024, but I noticed throughout January, I was actually picking it up a lot more and just using it on my face. I'm currently wearing it right now on my cheeks. It is just a really nice cream blush. I think that it is really long lasting. It gives a really nice and natural like flush to the cheeks without it being too crazy. And I have it also in the shade Intoxicated. I think that this is a perfect color for like my medium skin tone. This is actually like the only cream blush that I own in my makeup collection, and to me, I personally kind of prefer the cream over the liquid blushes that I own or that I have, just because it's a lot, like there's a lot less waste that comes with having a product like this versus the liquid blushes, and I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so don't mind the brush, okay? But I actually use this Zoeva like fluffy, it's supposed to be a foundation brush. I don't know what the number is clearly because it's broken. I had this for so many years and my brother broke it, and I decided never to get another one because it was perfectly fine. It's just not aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But I use this instead to buff it out, like blend it out. Oh, I guess it's like it's a buffing foundation brush. I guess that's actually what you would call this. But this is what I use on my cheeks whenever I'm using the Morphe blush. When I originally bought it though, I did get this little like puffer thing. You guys can see that? This little puffer thing, and it has product still on there because I never cleaned it. I don't know if it's just me, but I hate this thing. I don't like it. let me not say hate. I just don't like it. I don't know if it's just me, like if I'm a little stupid, but I don't know how to use this without it looking really like blotchy and just like heavy looking on my face, where it's just boom pigment and it's not blended out. So that's why I actually started using this kind of brush to blend instead. So yeah, I really wish, like, if you guys have this and you know how to use it, like, kudos to you. But for me, for some reason, I don't know why, I've actually seen people take this with this blush and blend it out, and they blend it out beautifully. But for me, I don't know, man. It just doesn't want to work. So, speaking of liquid blushes, or speaking of blushes, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is kind of like honorable favorites, to be honest, because they're amazing. But like I said before, I love that blush because it's in a cream formulation, and I think it's really easy to blend, and also there's less waste of product on it. But then there's these. These are the e.l.f. Camo liquid blushes, and I have it in the shade Dusty Rose and Coral Crush. And oh my god, this is not good. And my problem with this is just that I'm gonna try to see if I can show you guys. See that? Do we see that? Even though these are really inexpensive, I think they're like $7 for one. I just think that so much product comes out and you don't need all of the product because it's already so pigmented. A little goes a very long way. And to me, like, I wouldn't repurchase these personally just because I think that I'm losing money every time I put this on. It blends really nicely, it stays really nice on the face, it looks really nice on the face, it's really pigmented, and it's easy. Did I say that already? It's easy to blend out. I probably did. But I just think that I waste so much product. Like, I lose out on so much product when I'm putting this on, just because what I normally do is I'll take it out, unscrew it, and I'll dab it on the back of my palm, and then I take my finger and just dot it on my face, and then I'll blend it out. And there's product like left over on my hand, and I just feel like, yes, I can put it back in the container, but I find that in doing so, the rim of this, like the inside, gets gunky because there's so much leftover product getting put back. And the way that these containers are made, or these applicators are made, when you put it back in, some product that's not used pushes back out. I hope that makes sense, but yeah, that's my thing. So speaking of e.l.f., okay, my last makeup product that I have to talk about is actually their lip oils. So these are the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oils. And when I tell you, these have been my favorites for months now. I want to say I purchased this, like this one specifically, back in late 2023. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's when these lip oils came out. And ever since I've used them, like, this is one of the main products I always grab onto. So this is a little bit of like a cheat in a way because I've been using them for so long, but I just felt like I needed to express my love for this product because I love it so much. I also have it in the shade, actually, let me tell you what I have in my hand first. Let me tell you that. So this shade is in Dusty Rose, I want to say. No, that's the blush. Rose Envy, and I have it also in the shade Jam Session. And funny enough, these two colors on my face, despite the stark like difference in shades, same exact color on my lips. And I will show you because I have Rose Envy on my lips right now. I'm gonna put Jam Session on just so you know that I'm not lying. See? Now, it probably gives me like the slightest tinge of red, like the slightest amount, but nothing where if I put on this instead of the other one, the other shade, there's not much of a difference. Like, and mind you, I already had Rose Envy on my lips, so it's probably a little bit more pigmented because I already had something on prior. But that's not the point. I feel like that's my only negative within it. I wish that there was a little bit more pigment, even though it's not considered a lip gloss, so I guess like that's why. It would just be nice to see. You know, like if I paid for this color, I want to see a little bit more deepness. Like it doesn't have to be this complete shade, but I would like a little bit more depth. My favorite thing about these is that it's not sticky at all. It feels so nice on your lips and it's so hydrating. Like I can't get over how hydrating this is on my mouth. I've come to the conclusion that I suffer with like eczema and I get eczema patches on the top of my lip. And when I had bought this, I was already like struggling with my little eczema patch that I had. I'm actually going through another season of like eczema on my lips right now. You can't see it, but it's there. And I put this on and it doesn't irritate me. Every single thing, when I tell you every single thing other than like Aquaphor and Vaseline, every single lip product bothers the life out of my lips where it irritates me. As long as I have like an eczema flare up going on my lip, it irritates the life out of me. It's not even funny. This is the only product I was able to wear and I am able to wear with irritation on my lips. It's crazy. And so the next group of favorites that I'm actually going to be talking about is books. Books. I'm so excited to talk about books, but before I actually get into the books specifically, I want to share with you guys a specific book app that I have been absolutely loving. And it is called Fable. So the Fable app is basically an online book club where you can join other public clubs with a bunch of random strangers and be a part of whatever book they're reading for the month, couple months, whatever. It is very customizable. I actually discovered this app through one of my favorite YouTubers. Her name is Kathleen Lights, and I'm actually in her book club at the moment. So she was like, hey, I'm in this book club. If you guys want to join it, come on down, come join. And I was like, oh yeah, this sounds fun. And I wanted something to do because one of my resolutions of 2025 is to read more. And I just want to read one book a month. But going back to Fable, Fable is, like I said, an online book club, and you can create your own or you can join many of the thousands of public book clubs that's around the world. And they not only deal with book clubs, but they also have categories for TV shows and I believe movies. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a category for movies, but for sure there is TV shows. And basically you can join these groups, you can have conversations with people, and everything is non-spoilers. There is no spoilers for you guys. So, for example, if you are reading a book and you're in chapter 5 and other people are on chapter 8, there is a section within the book club which breaks down each chapter, and you can click on that specific chapter that you're reading, which is like chapter 5, right? You can click into chapter 5 and you can read all of the comments, all of the highlighted portions within the book, and not get anything from chapter 6, 7, or 8. It's fantastic. So you can really just stay within like your progress, basically. Also, Fable connects to your Goodreads and it also connects to your Kindle. So all of the lists, if you have a Goodreads account, all of your lists on there connects with your Fable account. And then if you have books on Kindle, stuff like that, or you want to buy books through Fable, it basically can connect to your Kindle so you can read on your Kindle and it will update on the app. It's really cool. But also you can just read books through the app itself. If you buy them through Fable, you can just read them on that app itself. You don't need to go into Kindle, but if you would prefer reading on Kindle, you can transfer the file to your Kindle. Point is, it's been really fun. Currently I'm reading a couple books right now, but currently we're reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and to be honest, I don't know how I feel about that book. I'm just kind of like, I'm not even gonna get into it. I feel like once I'm done the book, maybe I'll put like my little 2 cents in, but as of right now, I'm not sure how I feel about it because the main character kind of annoys me. Yeah, but now to get into the actual books of the month. My first book that I have to recommend to you guys, and I absolutely loved, was The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. And this book was honestly amazing. I think that it was really brilliantly written, and honestly, this is what literally projected me into having my whole 2025 reading resolution, because it brought back the joy of reading again. I have not read such a good book in a very long time, and it's just where do I begin? Where do I begin? I feel like this book is a little complicated to explain, but I will do my very best to do it justice without spoiling too much, basically. Throughout the story, you're kind of questioning, what's happening? It's technically, to me, I would categorize this as a psychological thriller. So that's why I'm saying, you're constantly questioning everything. You're constantly questioning other people, other characters within the book. And another thing is, it's written in third person. And personally, I don't like reading in third person. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I don't like reading hey, Sarah went and opened the door and saw the nutmeg on the counter, and the counter was brown. I don't like reading from that point of view or that perspective because I find it very boring at times. But reading it, I'm just saying, the way that Zakiya writes this book, I was able to read it as watching a movie. I'm really trying to do the story justice, but I really don't want to say too much because I have a habit of just saying the whole plot, saying the whole story, the whole narrative, and it's at that point, why read it, Why read it? But yeah. So the next book that I have here is He Whispers Your Name by Cherie Hill. I want to say her name's pronounced Cherie or Cherie. I want to say it's Cherie with a C, not a S. But this is a 365-day devotional, and my mom ended up getting me this for Christmas, and I started it, of course, this year. And I love it. It is such a beautiful thing to start my day with whenever I'm done, my scriptures in the morning, because I normally do, my Bible studying. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't. Okay. I normally do my Bible study time and my devotional time with the Lord in the morning. So after I'm done, I will read this towards at the end. It's the last thing I do before I close out. And it is just it's so beautiful. I feel like this is just very much needed for myself, but I also think for a lot of women, because in the title itself, I feel says a lot. He whispers your name. There is so much love that the Lord has for us and his daughters. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just, in the title alone is just, it's so sweet. And like, I know that everyone needs that reminder of God's love for them. And that's just like, this devotional is just one of those things that help remind me how loving and how present He is in our lives. Especially in a world that tries to tell you like what your value is as a woman. Like, this kind of just brings you back, like centering back down into Christ, and you're able to be confirmed with certain things. I mean, I read it and there's a lot of day by, like, the day that I'm reading doesn't really correlate with what's going on with my life right now, but emotionally I've been in those positions, and it's just, I've been in the topics basically that each page talks about, if that makes sense. And it's really nice to read something and just be reminded of, like, yeah, Lord, I remember that. I actually remember when I felt that way. And you know what? You remind me so and so. And then, of course, there's scriptures that will go with the text. And it's just really nice to, like, study and see. And I don't know, just confirm. Again, like, confirming God's love for us. The next category is TV shows. And let me tell you, for the month of February, I made it my like commitment to watch more TV because I'm not a big TV person. At home, it's always silent. Like, I really do not have the TV on. I don't have the TV playing, whatever. And if there's anything playing within the house, if there's any noise going on, it's usually worship music. I have no need for TV to be going on in my house because I'm comfortable with the peace and quiet. Like, yeah, I don't need the background noise, to be honest. But I just decided that the month of February, I wanted to catch up on some of the things that I had in my watch list. And also, I was just in, like, since the beginning of the year, late last year, beginning of this year, I've been in such a, like, romantic rom-com vibe, and it had to be anime. Like, nothing else. Not actual American television, not Korean dramas. I wanted anime. And there's going to be a lot of anime on this list. So, the very first show that I have to say right now is Solo Leveling. And I'm just going to say this and get this out the way first because currently season 2 is playing, and that's what I'm currently watching. It is still in the making week by week, so they're pumping out new episodes, and the rest of the animes that I'm going to talk about are like my passerby fillers and basically what I'm watching while I'm waiting for each episode to come out, if that makes sense. So Solo Leveling is chef's kiss. I am such a big fan of action, and I mean that's really why I think I love anime so much, is because of the action. I also love Jinwoo. Okay, he is like, every time I see him on the screen, I'm like, you're beautiful. I have him as my background. I just wanted to show you guys, like, I just wanted to show you guys that. I don't know. I just wanted to show you guys. Anyway, Solo Leveling is like an action-packed, kind of reincarnated into the same body. Like, he dies, but he basically gets resurrected, and he gets resurrected with powers where he's able to level up his powers. I'm doing a bad job explaining this. Point is, it's been my favorite it's been my favorite anime that I've been watching action wise. And honestly, I feel like each episode has a fight scene. That's number one. Each episode has some fighting that takes place, and the animations of it is so good. I actually really want to get the novel and not the mangas, but I want to get the novel and just read it because that's what came out first. So I would rather read it from that perspective, see what goes on and whatnot, and then maybe get the manga. I don't know. The next show, all the other shows that I'm going to mention, I have watched around Solo Leveling. So these were all of my fillers, all of the things that I wanted to just see to fill up my time. And one of them is called My Love Story. And let me just tell you, it was so cute. I finished it. So, yeah. But My Love Story is basically kind of like a cute coming of age high school love story, and it's about a very large, brawly looking guy who overlooks his own self just based on how big and scary he looks. He knows that he's not in in good terms, I will say, like with the ladies, just because he's so scary looking. And I mean, it's understandable in comparison to his best friend, who happens to be the quote unquote hot guy of the high school. It's only until he saves another young girl his age from basically a predator that he falls in love with her. She happens to fall in love with him, and the story just kind of progresses into their relationship and their growth as characters, and like all the shenanigans that happen within their relationship and the people surrounding them. It is such a cute story. I think that it's incredibly underrated, especially when it comes to like the love shows, like from like anime, like yeah. And also, I just think that like anime in general has such a bad rep for good reasons. For good reasons. I mean, there are stereotypes for a reason, because there are some shows I've seen and I'm just like, you see, this is why people say certain things, because why? It's a favorite because I would rewatch it again. It's so funny. And the progress and the growth of all of them is really cute to see. And I really enjoy watching innocent love stories like that. Like, it just makes my heart feel full, basically. The next show that I want to talk about, and I'm so excited actually to talk about this, is the Apothecary Diaries. Mm, Chef's kiss. I love, love, love the Apothecary Diaries. When I tell you, I have not seen an anime so well rounded in a very long time. I haven't. You know, like most animes, it's either just like specific genres, like it just sticks to that one thing. Like, for example, My Hero, it's literally fighting. Like these kids training to be heroes and fighting. Like, it's kind of like one theme, one vibe, and it's predictable. This show, first of all, it's considered like a mystery anime, which fantastic. I feel like if you are not an anime watcher or you want to get into anime and you don't really know where to start, this is a perfect show for you, because I think it just like it's so I don't even know how to describe that. I think that it has such a perfect blend of everything without being too much, and it's also not creepy, despite the themes that actually are very present within the show itself. They follow this main character who's a young woman, I would say. She's almost a young woman. Yeah. And she is living with her apothecary father, and she's also training to be also an apothecary. And she's going about her business one day, gets kidnapped, ends up being sold off to the emperor, and she is now living her life in the emperor's palace within the concubine section. So literally where all the concubines and the consorts are for the emperor. And the show itself just goes about the medical mysteries that she has to solve while she's working there. And again, this show, despite talking about like the concubines within the palace and like it taking place within that type of like theme, it is not creepy, and I love it. It's so, I feel like historically they keep what needs to be kept within history of like that era. And I believe it's China. I want to say it's China that this is taking place in, but if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I digress. Point is, this this anime is so good. I'm also on season 2 because season 2 came out this January as well. Um it is such a good, like, starting. If you don't know, again, if you don't like anime, you start off with this. I don't think you will like, I honestly don't think you would hate it unless you're not a mystery person. And it's such a and that's the thing, it's not too serious in the sense that you're you're like over emotional within each episode. It's really like it's a really nice balance. But I will say the last 2 episodes of season two, not season 2, the last 2 episodes of season 1, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I was hysterically crying. It was so good, and I was so sad. And I mean, I was sad but happy. Like, it was happy tears, but it was just with sadness. And I'm like, how does an anime make me feel these emotions right now? I don't know, but also the animation is really pretty, and the female lead is amazing. I love her. She's really strong. She's incredibly smart, and everyone needs her. Like, literally everyone needs her. Everyone wants her within the show just because she is so talented and educated, and the last thing she wants is a man. It's great. Anyway, then an honorable mention of shows is called Heaven's Design Company. Design Company? No. No. It's Heaven's Design Team. That's what it's called. Anyway, so Heaven's Design Company is, I keep saying company, it's not company. Heaven's Design Company is basically centered around the concept that God made, the sky, the water, earth, and the animals. Like, God made everything, including the animals, but he got up to a certain part while creating the animals that he's just like, you know what? I don't want to do all this work. I am going to contract a group of people and they will do the rest of it for me. I'm just going to give them the instructions and they'll figure out the rest. And the show just like showcases this group of people getting God's very vague request for specific animals and their processes within creating. But I think that this show, it's like a really creative concept, because I would have never like even considered thinking like, hey, the Lord contracted out this group of people to make animals. As a Christian, I know that that's not the case, right? But it's just a very like cute, not cute, but a creative way to think about the creation basically. So the reason why I really enjoyed watching this show is just the creativity, number one, and two, it's so educational. Like, there are so many facts about the animals that we all know and we should know certain things about, but I never learned in school. So, like, for example, there's an episode where they create like the elephant. So I relearned, honestly, like, refreshed my memory, the fact that their ears are so big, but their ears are utterly useless for hearing. But it's only meant as like heat sinks, which are basically the term for parts of your body that help remove heat. And that's what it does. Just cools their whole huge body down because they need something to cool such a gigantic body. And then on top of that, their skin is wrinkly. Their skin is wrinkly to retain water. Like, that's the reason why their skin is so wrinkly. I didn't know that. So watching shows like that where I'm able to learn and like watch in a really like creative way, it's really interesting because they also go through like trial and errors, yeah, errors, trials and mishaps. That's what I will say. Of designing these animals and having to make them appropriate for the climate that they're living in. It was just such a fun watch. It was only 13 episodes though, so it kind of bummed me out once I was done, and I watched it within like 2 days. Like I was enjoying it so much, like the education and like the storyline while they're creating that I watched it out in 2 days. I could have watched it out in a day if I wanted to. Like, it's crazy. Okay, and then the very last show that I will talk about is actually a Korean drama that's on Hulu or Disney Plus, I guess, but you know, it's a Hulu original. It is called A Shop for Killers. So, A Shop for Killers is basically about like a young girl whose uncle, who she grew up with as basically her father figure, dies, and she has to uncover like the truth about his life and basically his death, like all the truths that surround his death and the mysteries that surround his death. And I mean, they have my man, what's his name? I'm not even gonna pronounce it, but I will put a picture and like his name because I'm not gonna do him dirty like that. I don't know what it is. I can't pronounce Korean names, and it's so embarrassing. But he is a fine old Korean man. I say old because he could be my dad. Like he's so he's so handsome to me. Also, his acting within this show was so great. I mean, his acting in general is amazing, fantastic, fabulous. But watching the show, he portrays such a mysterious, solemn, like you feel bad for him, yet you know that I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you're able to feel bad for this character, but at the same time, you know they're not fully innocent, but at the same time you're kind of just like just the way that I feel like he played his role. I think that he did a really fantastic job, and it helped portray the story so much better. Him alone, like literally him alone acting, he made the story so much better. I'm just saying. The only downside of that show, I feel like the first two episodes are a bit slow. Like things are happening and you're just kind of interested in what's going on, but it is like it is a little bit of like a slow burn for those first two episodes, but once you pass that, it's like OMG, OMG. You are going through the entire storyline that leads up to his death. And throughout that entire time, you're learning so much about his past and about the niece's past and realizing how everything kind of connects together. And it's fantastic. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want to spoil too much, but I just say, like, A Shop for Killers, really, really, really good. Really good. Really good. Okay, so now like calming back down from like all of the TV shows and media, trying to bring this full circle where kind of relax, Melissa, you know, relax. I want to talk about my favorite scripture for the month. So the scripture that's been really something like that I've been going back to, and it really like helps me within this space or the time that I'm in, or basically what I need. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the scripture that has been really speaking to me throughout the month of February was Philippians 3:7, and it simply says, "But whatever were gains to me, I now consider loss for the sake of Christ." And I love that scripture because I feel like it really coincides with my very first video, which I posted last week. Hopefully I post this a week after I just posted last week's, because I really hope so, but I need to because it's going to be the end of February. Anyway, I think that this scripture is so valuable for me, especially going through the motions of like being at home. For those who don't know, like I'm currently not working. It was a time in my life that God called me to rest, and I had to be obedient in pursuing rest and growing in my intimacy with Christ. And I mean, Philippians 3:7, it says it very plain, is the fact that everything that, is now considered loss in my life is now actually considered a gain for the sake of Christ. Because at the end of the day, the things that we have, the success we have in life, the promotions, the things, the stuff, the people, like all of those things mean nothing at the end of the day, because by the time we get into heaven, it's worthless. If we can just obtain one thing, if that one thing is Jesus Christ, it is the most important out of above all else. So yeah, I mean, Philippians 3:7, it is a really good reminder for me that I am, one, being obedient, and two, that I can't look at my outer appearance or the things that are present like in the natural here, the things that I have and the things that I don't have. Like, I can't look at those things and count it as a loss or a gain, because at the end of the day, Christ is the most important thing that I have in my life. Whatever I gain within the next couple days, months, year, whatever, means nothing. Means nothing. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't want to hear that. Because we like our stuff and we like our comfort. But okay, so the very last things that I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to be done. Thank God, because I have been sitting here talking for way too long. Sorry, Indy. I woke my cat up. So I have over here this, what is this called? Weekly scheduler, weekly planner. And when I tell you, I've been actually really busy the past couple, past 2 weeks. I've been busy, but I've been busy in like the weirdest way, where I have all these tasks that I have to do, but I could not like wrap my mind around a single one to get them done, because I've just been kind of like scatterbrained. I tend to go through like days like that, weeks like that. So I ended up getting this planner on Amazon, and it's so great because it's weekly. I can just say like the week of whatever, and there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, not Saturday, the weekend, and you can write each date in, as well as put in your most important task on like the left hand side. And there's also a little to do section. And I mean, this is really helpful for someone like me, because if I try to do this on my phone, I always get distracted. Like, I don't know what it is, but all the notifications, they're never really important to me, but I don't realize how much when I pick up my phone, I look at notifications and I get distracted from that, and then I forget that I have to put something down for my task. So then it just becomes like a back in the mind memory, where I just have to keep it there, like somewhere close in proximity to my brain, just to like keep reminding myself, hey, remember, you gotta do that. Hey, remember, you gotta do that. It's exhausting. It's been keeping me very organized, and it's been super useful, super helpful. And also, these pages, you can actually just like rip off when you're done. So once you're done the week, you can just tear this off, and brand new page for you guys. Like, it's great. The other thing in combination with my planner is these pens, these pens, these pens, these pens. I don't know what it is, but like stationery products have such a grip on me. I love anything that's like organizational, and then it's like office, like school shopping when I was younger was such a dream. I hated the concept of having to go back to school, but the concept of school shopping, getting folders, getting new books, getting new like post-its, loved it. It was just so, it was so fun. I don't know why. But anyway, these pens. These pens, I love them. These are gel erasable pens. Erasable pens. Girl. So I love. I love. Anyway, so I am very big on color. Again, how my brain works is I kind of like use certain colors out of what's important for me. So right now I've been writing in purple because of the month of February. I've been writing in purple and I've been writing in pink. Just to keep like a theme going. But if I have anything like really important that I need to get done, I will write it down in red, right? And I'm gonna like keep that vibe going for the next couple months. So like next month I'm probably gonna do this bright green. I also have a darker green. It's not in my pile here, but I do have like a darker color like forest green. And these are such nice pens. Like I have been going to this all the time to write everything in, writing my grocery lists, to fill out my scheduler. Like they've just been so amazing. I love them. They write so smooth, and the eraser on them are actually really, really good. It's actually really, really good. And they weren't that expensive. They were under $10. So, and you get like 12 of these. I also have black and another blue. I believe I have another blue, unless this is the blue that I'm thinking. But I have a black pen as well. You get your standard black and blue ink, and then you have all these colorful ones. I'm trying not to support Amazon right now, but that's where I bought them, so I'm gonna have to like link that down below if you guys want. Also, what's the other thing I was gonna say? I wanted to say one more thing. I said that I bought the planner and I bought the pens. I didn't buy them. It was actually my sister who ended up buying those for me, and I'm like so grateful for that. So shout out to her for buying those, because I really wanted them, and they are actually being used. They're not actually sitting around like a lot of other things that I say that I want and then I never use them. So shout out for her for being like my number one sugar mama. But I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys again so much for watching today's video, and if you've gotten to this end, like, congratulations that you've made it this far throughout my rambling. Of course, everything again will be listed down below, and I'll try my best to have everything, like all the links there. So yeah, and yeah, I think that's it. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Take care.